My brother Jake has always been the kind of guy who dreams big. When he got engaged to Emily, I knew this was a huge moment for both of them. Their relationship was solid, and honestly, they deserved every bit of happiness coming their way. The engagement party was at our parents' house, cozy but filled with close friends and family. Everyone was buzzing with excitement, sharing stories, laughing, and raising glasses to the future couple. I'd been planning my gift for weeks but kept it under wraps. I wanted it to be something unforgettable. Jake had been eyeing a luxury car for a while. Not something flashy but a sleek, elegant ride that matched his style. I figured, why not help make that dream a reality? So, I decided to cover $10,000 of the cost as my gift. As the evening went on, I waited for the perfect moment. When everyone was gathered and the mood was right, I stood up, cleared my throat, and caught Jake and Emily's attention. "Hey everyone," I started, "I want to do something special for Jake and Emily today. You know how Jake's been talking about getting that new car for months? Well, I'm covering $10,000 toward that dream." There was a beat of silence, then jaws dropped. Emily's eyes welled up and Jake just stared, stunned. People started cheering and clapping, but I could tell the gift meant way more than just money to them. It was a symbol of support, trust, and belief in their future. Jake came over and hugged me tight. "I don't even know what to say, man. This means everything." It was honestly one of the best moments I've ever shared with my brother. Knowing I could help kickstart a chapter of their lives in such a meaningful way made me feel proud and grateful. The party kept going, but for me that moment, seeing their genuine happiness, was the highlight of the night. After I made the announcement, the atmosphere at the party shifted in the best way possible. People kept coming up to me, congratulating me on the gift, but honestly it wasn't about the money, it was about seeing Jake and Emily so genuinely happy. Emily was practically glowing and Jake couldn't stop smiling. Later that night, I caught Jake alone in the backyard. He looked at me seriously and said, "You didn't have to do that, but I'm so glad you did. You've always been there for me, but this is next level." I told him it was just my way of showing how much I believed in him and the life he and Emily were building together. The thing is, Jake's always been independent. He's worked hard for everything he has, but I could tell that sometimes he hesitated to ask for help, even from family. I think that's why I wanted to step up this time, not just to give a gift, but to show that it's okay to lean on people who care about you. As the weeks passed after the party, Jake and Emily started shopping for the car. They invited me along on the first trip to the dealership. Watching them sit in the car, imagining their future road trips, and hearing Emily talk about how she couldn't wait to make memories in it, it felt like I was a small part of something much bigger. A few days ago, Jake sent me a photo of the car parked outside their new place, all shiny and perfect. He wrote, "Thanks again for making this happen. It's more than a car, it's a symbol of new beginnings for us." I smiled reading that because I knew this gift was about more than just the price tag. It was about love, family, and the belief that sometimes supporting each other is the best gift you can give. Honestly, that engagement party turned out to be one of the most meaningful nights in my life. Not just because I surprised them, but because it reminded me how powerful it is to be there for your loved ones in a way they least expect. After the car was finally theirs, I noticed something had changed, not just for Jake and Emily but for all of us. That $10,000 gift wasn't just about helping them buy a car. It had sparked something in the family. People started opening up more, sharing what they needed, and offering help without hesitation. It was like a new level of trust and connection had been unlocked. A few weeks after the engagement party, Emily invited me over for dinner. We talked about everything, her excitement about the wedding, Jake's stress about work, and how the car had already become a part of their everyday lives. She told me that the car wasn't just transportation, it was their little sanctuary, a place where they could escape, dream, and plan their future. Jake called me one evening, a few days before the wedding plans were set to kick into full gear. His voice was quieter than usual, and I could tell he was weighed down by the pressure of organizing everything. I reminded him that it was okay to ask for help and shared that the engagement party gift was just the beginning. I promised to be there, not just with money but with time and support whenever he needed. That conversation brought us closer. We started hanging out more. Long drives, casual dinners, late-night talks about life, fears, and dreams. It was like the gift opened the door to a deeper bond between us, one built on vulnerability and trust. The day of the wedding came, and seeing Jake and Emily say their vows was incredible. I stood beside them, feeling proud and grateful. The car was parked just outside, a shining reminder of the journey we'd all shared. During the reception, Emily surprised me with a small speech, thanking me not only for the gift but for being a part of their story in such a meaningful way. That moment stayed with me long after the party ended. Sometimes the most powerful gifts aren't wrapped in fancy paper or tied with bows. They're moments of connection, support, and love that shape the future in ways money alone can't. Looking back, I realized that helping Jake and Emily wasn't just about the car or the engagement party. It was about showing up when it mattered most, and knowing that sometimes, the best gift you can give is simply being there. After the wedding, life slowly settled into a new rhythm for all of us. But I noticed that the impact of that engagement party gift went far beyond the surface. Jake and Emily's relationship seemed stronger than ever, and their excitement about the future was contagious. I think that $10,000 wasn't just money, it was a vote of confidence in their dreams, a tangible way of saying, "We believe in you." One afternoon, Jake invited me over for coffee. We sat outside, the new car gleaming in the driveway behind us. He was quieter than usual, and I could tell something was on his mind. "I've been thinking," he said, staring at the car, "about how lucky I am to have you as a brother. Not just because of what you did for us, but because you always make me feel like I'm not alone no matter what." His voice was raw, and for a moment, I felt the weight of everything we'd been through as siblings. We talked for hours that day, about struggles, failures, hopes, and the future. It was one of those conversations where you realize how much you've grown, and how important family truly is. I also saw how the gift had inspired Jake to give back in his own way. He started volunteering at a local youth program, helping kids who felt stuck or uncertain about their futures. He told me that seeing how a small act of kindness could change his life motivated him to do the same for others. That, more than anything, made me proud. Sometimes people think gifts are just about the material things, the flashy car, the expensive gadget, but the real value lies in the love and intention behind them. That night at the engagement party, I wasn't just giving money, I was giving trust, support, and belief in a future full of possibilities. Looking back now, I realize that the gift changed more than just Jake and Emily's lives. It changed mine too. It reminded me that family isn't just about blood, it's about showing up, being present, and lifting each other up no matter what. And if I had to give one piece of advice, don't wait for the perfect moment to show you care. Sometimes, the best moments are the ones you create yourself, with a little courage, love, and maybe a surprise gift or two. Months went by, and the glow from the engagement party and wedding didn't fade, it only grew stronger. Jake and Emily's life together was flourishing. The luxury car I helped with had become more than just a symbol of success, it was a vessel of memories. I heard stories about road trips, late-night drives, and even the silly moments where they'd get lost just for the fun of it. Each time, they'd remind me how the gift wasn't just about the car, but the confidence and freedom it represented. One weekend, Jake called me out of the blue and asked if I wanted to join them on a drive up the coast. I didn't hesitate. There's something about a long drive that breaks down walls and sparks conversations you don't get in everyday life. We blasted music, joked around, and talked about everything from career goals to childhood memories. At one point, Jake got serious. "You know," he said, "I never really thought I needed much help. I always wanted to do things on my own, prove myself. But you showed me that it's okay to accept support. That it doesn't make you weak, it actually makes you stronger." That hit me hard because I'd seen that stubbornness in him growing up. It was always a point of pride to handle things solo. But I think that gift, the $10,000 toward the car, helped break that barrier. It gave him permission to lean on others, to trust that people want to help because they care. Emily, too, became closer to me after that trip. We shared our own stories about family and future dreams. It felt like we'd formed this unspoken bond, a little family within the family. The gift had somehow expanded beyond its original intention, connecting us all on a deeper level. Over the next few months, I found myself reflecting more and more on what it really means to support someone. It's not just about big gestures or money. Sometimes it's about showing up consistently, being there for the late-night calls, the doubts, the celebrations, and the quiet moments in between. In fact, after that trip, I started making a conscious effort to be more present in Jake and Emily's lives. Whether it was helping with wedding planning leftovers, being a sounding board for career decisions, or just hanging out, I realized those small acts of presence were just as valuable as any big gift. Looking back, I think that $10,000 gift was a catalyst, not just for Jake and Emily's new car, but for all the ways our relationships deepened and grew. It reminded me that sometimes, the greatest gifts we can give aren't wrapped in boxes. They're the gifts of love, trust, and genuine connection. And honestly, that's a lesson I carry with me every day. Because family isn't just who you're born to, it's who you choose to show up for, through every chapter of life. As the seasons changed, I found myself thinking more about the ripple effects of that engagement party gift. It wasn't just Jake and Emily's life that had shifted, our whole family dynamic felt different. Suddenly there was more openness, more vulnerability. People started sharing their struggles and dreams in ways they hadn't before. It was like the gift had cracked open a door that led to deeper connection. Jake invited me to join him and Emily for Thanksgiving that year. Their new home felt warm and full of life, and the car sat proudly in the driveway, a quiet reminder of what we'd all been through together. Over dinner, the conversation turned to family traditions, hopes for the future, and even past regrets. For the first time in a long while, I felt like we were all truly present with each other. Later that night, Jake pulled me aside and said something that stuck with me. You know, it's funny how one moment can change everything. That night at the engagement party, when you announced the gift, I felt something shift inside me. It wasn't just about the money, it was about knowing I had someone in my corner, someone who believed in me no matter what. I told him I felt the same way, and that the gift had given me the chance to show how much I cared in a way words sometimes can't. Over the next few months, Jake and Emily's plans for the future began to take shape. They talked about starting a family, buying a bigger house, and even traveling more. I could see how confident they'd become, fueled not just by their own hard work, but by the support system around them. What surprised me most was how the gift inspired me personally. I started volunteering more, getting involved in community projects, and reaching out to friends and family more intentionally. It was as if giving that gift opened a door for me to grow into a more generous and connected person. One day, Emily called me out of the blue with exciting news. They were expecting their first child. The joy in her voice was palpable, and I felt honored to be part of their journey. We talked about the future and how important it was to surround that new life with love and support. Looking back, I realized that the $10,000 was just the beginning. The real gift was the way it brought us closer together, showed us the power of generosity, and reminded us that sometimes, the smallest acts can have the biggest impact. At the end of the day, I learned that family isn't just about blood ties, it's about being there, showing up, and investing in each other's dreams. That night at the engagement party was a milestone, yes, but it was also the start of something much bigger. A lifelong journey of love, trust, and support. As time went on, I started noticing changes in myself that I hadn't anticipated. Giving that gift at Jake and Emily's engagement party wasn't just a one-time moment. It became a turning point in how I approached relationships and life in general. I realized generosity isn't just about money or grand gestures. It's about presence, empathy, and the willingness to show up even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. I found myself reaching out more to friends and family, checking in on people who seemed distant or struggling. Sometimes it was just a simple message, a quick phone call, or a coffee meetup. But those small acts began to weave a stronger web of connection around me, and I saw firsthand how much it mattered. Jake and Emily's life continued to flourish, and their gratitude never faded. When their baby arrived, I was there for the delivery, holding Jake's hand through the nerves and excitement. Seeing them become parents brought a new dimension to our relationship. It was no longer just about brothers and siblings, it was about being part of a growing family and supporting them through every stage. One evening, as I watched Jake gently rock his newborn in the living room, I felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The car, the gift, the engagement party, it all seemed like pieces of a larger puzzle, leading us here. To a place of love, resilience, and mutual support. I also realized that the gift had helped me let go of my own fears and doubts. I had always been cautious, afraid of overstepping or getting too involved. But stepping up for Jake showed me that sometimes taking the risk to care deeply is worth it. Since then, I've tried to live with that same spirit, giving not because I expect something in return, but because I genuinely want to make a difference. Whether it's helping someone chase a dream, offering a listening ear, or just being there when it counts, I've learned that these acts create ripples that can change lives. Looking back, the engagement party gift wasn't just a financial contribution. It was a symbol of everything I believe about family, love, and support. It was a reminder that sometimes, the best way to show you care is to bet on the people you love, to believe in their potential even when they doubt themselves. And that's a lesson I carry with me every day. Because life is unpredictable, but having someone in your corner makes all the difference. For Jake, for Emily, for their new family, and for me, it was the beginning of something beautiful. Something that keeps growing with every shared moment, every challenge faced, and every dream pursued together. Looking back on everything, I realized that the $10,000 gift was never really about the money. It was about trust. Trust in my brother, in his relationship, and in the future they were building together. It was about stepping up and saying, "I'm here for you," in a way that words sometimes can't fully express. That night at the engagement party, when I made the announcement, I didn't just give them a gift. I gave them a boost of confidence and hope. Watching Jake and Emily grow from that moment into a stronger, more connected couple has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Over time, the gift became a symbol, a reminder of how love and support can create momentum. It sparked new traditions, deeper conversations, and a family bond that feels unbreakable. It reminded me that sometimes the greatest gifts aren't things you can hold, but moments you create and memories you share. Now, whenever I see that car parked outside their home, I don't just see a luxury vehicle. I see a milestone, a shared dream, and the beginning of countless journeys, both literal and metaphorical, that they will take together. I'm grateful that I had the chance to be part of their story in this way. It taught me that generosity isn't just about giving, it's about believing, encouraging, and being present when it matters most. So if there's one thing I want anyone reading this to take away, it's this: don't wait for the right moment to show you care. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take a chance, speak up, and make a difference in someone's life. Because those moments have the power to change everything. And that's exactly what happened for us that night, and what continues to inspire me every day. As I close this chapter, I can't help but feel thankful for that night, and for the chance to be part of something bigger than myself. Sometimes, life hands you moments where you can make a real impact, and that engagement party gift was exactly that for me. It wasn't just about the money or the car, it was about showing my brother and Emily that I believed in them, that I'd stand by their side no matter what. And in doing so, I found something powerful for myself too. A deeper connection to family, a greater sense of purpose, and a reminder that love is often the most valuable gift we can give. I hope my story inspires others to think beyond material gifts and remember that sometimes, the best present is simply being there, for encouragement, support, and belief in the people we care about. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. The moments we create, the bonds we strengthen, and the love we share. And for Jake, Emily, and me, that $10,000 gift was just the beginning of a lifelong journey filled with all of those things. Thanks for reading.